Chicago and the Philippines. A comprehensive review of the week's special community events, featuring many exciting personalities, handled by the most professional Chicago Philippine Reports TV staff.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Chicago Philippine Reports TV, still the #1 Filipino show in the Midwest. I'm Girly Pascual. Welcome to our show. Today we have all the top stories from the Philippines. We also have what's happening in our own Filipino-American community of Chicago. We have interesting interviews led by our very own executive producer, Miss Veronica Layton. We have Bridget Cotero Carino. All these are coming up and more afterward from our sponsors. Please stay with us.
Human rights groups left and right cheered as the Supreme Court released its decision, which not only defined red tagging but also raised red flags on the practice of linking individuals and groups to the communist movement. In the decision promulgated last July 4, 2023 but released Wednesday, the High Court said red tagging as well as vilification, labeling, and guilt by association constitute threats to a person's right to life, liberty, or security. While the court issued a writ of amparo, the case was remanded back to the Iloilo City Regional Trial Court Branch 24 for summary hearings for the granting of the writ. The case stemmed from the petition of former Bayan Muna Representative Sigfred De Duro against Major General Eric Vinoya, the commanding officer of the Philippine Army 3rd Infantry Division in 2020. De Duro alleged that military officers in Iloilo City under Vinoya red-tagged and accused him and other individuals of being ranking members of the Communist Party of the Philippines New People's Army. Then came posters in Iloilo referring to De Duro and others as criminals, extortionists, and terrorists. Two of those red-tagged, Jose Reynaldo Porquilla of Bayan Muna and Cara Alvarez of Carapatan, met violent deaths. The court further said in the decision that being associated with terrorists makes the red-tagged person a target of vigilantes as well as government authorities. In a statement, De Duro said he is glad the Supreme Court decided in favor of his petition. He hopes the ruling will benefit other activists as he himself still fears for his life. The Makabayan Bloc thanked the Supreme Court and echoed its call for the government to abolish the National Task Force to end local communist armed conflict, which often links activists to the communist movement. The group also calls Congress to enact a law to criminalize red tagging.
The good news is nagpalabas ng ganito ang Supreme Court, so dapat sumabay, no? Yung mga ahensya ng gobyerno, sumabay ang gobyerno dito sa sinasabi nating panawagan, natanggalan ng budget or at the very least tanggalan ng budget, at the most talagang i-abolish na.
Dapat makriminalize na ang red tagging. Dapat lamang talaga na para magkaroon ng mga mekanismo para mapanagot ang mga red tagger at makita nila na hindi sila untouchable.
The National Union of People's Lawyers said the decision is not just a legal victory but a strong slap on red taggers. Human Rights Watch also called on the Marcos administration to abandon the practice of red tagging in government. The Free Legal Assistance Group likewise told the government to direct all public servants not to engage in red tagging. The Armed Forces of the Philippines meantime assured the public that they have always followed the law.
Ang ating AFP po ay sumusunod po, no? So kung ano po ang nakasaad sa batas. We leave this po to our high-level, ministerial level talks, kung ano po ang magiging guidance nila down the line. So ang Armed Forces of the Philippines po will abide with the laws stated by our nation.
In a statement, the Legal Cooperation Cluster of the NTF-ELCAC stressed that the issuance is different from the actual grant of the privilege of the writ. The NTF-ELCAC says it will participate in the summary hearing of the RTC to present their own evidence.
The Philippine economy grew by 5.7% in the first quarter of the year, While that's below some analyst expectations, the growth remains among the fastest in the region.
Mga pangunahing sektor ng ekonomiya na agriculture, forestry and fishing, industry at services ay nagsipagtala ng mga pagtaas.
Surpassing other major economies such as China at 5.3%, Indonesia at 5.1%, and Malaysia at 3.9%.
Contributors to growth include financial and insurance activities, wholesale and retail trade, and manufacturing. Another key growth driver is the electronics and semiconductor industry. Exports in the first quarter grew by 7.5%, faster than the 1.1% the year before. But inflation and even the hot temperature have affected the economy.
We've been experiencing several shocks, the major ones being the long period of the heat wave, and related to that, the El Nino, and geopolitical tensions. Construction slowed down, no doubt affected by prolonged periods of extreme heat. Household spending also slowed due to elevated prices of major food items and the heat wave.
Household final consumption expenditure slowed to its lowest level since 2010, minus the pandemic year. Government final consumption expenditure also slowed down year on year. House Ways and Means Committee Chair and Albay Representative Joey Salceda says the government must spend more wisely so the public will benefit from various programs. NEDA Secretary Arsenio Balisacan says the government continues to implement programs to help Filipinos in education, health, labor, and infrastructure. He is also confident that the country's resilience will extend even in succeeding quarters as government prepares for the effects of El Nino and the possible impact of La Nina. Balisacan is optimistic the economy will reach the 6 to 7% full-year growth target this year.
Do you need to get your hands on some extra money right now? Maybe $25,000 or more? If you're a homeowner, now is the perfect time to get cash out. While homes in many neighborhoods like yours have gone up in value, you can use the money for anything. It's yours. You can buy an investment property, pay for college, pay off higher interest debt, or make home improvements. A cash out refinance is the perfect solution to get the cash you need. If you need $25,000, $50,000, or even $100,000, now's the time. Home values are up, and so is your equity. We offer you a way to use it. No need to sell your home or use your savings. Call New American Funding now and speak to a cash out refi specialist and see how much cash out you can get.
Call New American Funding at 855-332-3929. That's 855-332-3929. Call 855-332-3929.
Via Times, vital news, vibrant views for the Filipino Asian communities in Chicago. Via Times for your most interesting and exciting reading and your party coverages. Via Times has very interesting columnists. You name it, Via Times has it. Law, Filipino news, dentistry, immigration, humor, serious opinions, health, beauty, mysticism, Bata Corner, showbiz, and intelligently written editorials. Call Via Times at 773-866-0811.
Magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat and welcome to Veronica's segment of this show. Today, I have a very interesting Filipino-American guest here today. And he's very well known in the community for what he's doing. It is work as immigration lawyer and also as an entrepreneur, a successful one. Okay, help me welcome Attorney Gerardine. Attorney Gerardine is here now, and we're shooting inside his boxes store right now, and he will be touring us there too. So this is really exciting. Welcome to our show, Tony Dean.
Hello. Hi, Ate Vero. Thank you for having me in your show. The longest running TV newspaper show in the entire Chicagoland. It's an honor.
Thank you so much, and I thank God for that, for giving us long life to be running our media outfit in the Filipino American community in Chicago. And Attorney Dean has something to say about what he's doing in this community, as this is the celebration of the Asian American Heritage Month, and he's one of the most successful Asian that live here in Chicago. And okay, Attorney Dean, as an immigration lawyer, how are you helping our country and this country? First thing, first, because that is your major profession.
I had been a lawyer since 1992. I was first admitted to the Philippine Bar in June of 1992. And in 2002, I immigrated to the U.S. and took and passed the Illinois State Bar and was admitted by the Illinois Supreme Court in May of 2006. I started my private practice in the same year. Initially, I dabbled into real estate, uncontested divorce, and immigration. But in the course of time, I focused on immigration, mainly family-based immigration, to help family be reunited, to process the immigrant petition of family members, spouses, children, siblings. And also, I process employment-based immigration. My concentration is the processing of immigrant petition for nurses, for therapists, and other healthcare workers, because I am fortunate to have clients in various states, nursing homes and hospitals. Because of this, because of these clients scattered in different states, I am able to help our kababayan get sponsored directly by these nursing homes. Some of these nursing homes are in California, in New York, New Jersey, Florida, Arizona, Las Vegas, mostly in Illinois. How I do it? I simply match a nurse with the nursing home that they prefer. If they prefer to work in New York, I match them with my client in New York. They talk, they determine the salary, and once everything is agreed, housing accommodation, salary, I start the process. And the difference with what I do is my clients deal directly with the nurse. There are no recruiters involved, because the nursing homes, the hospitals save. In the process, I encourage them to give the savings to the nurses in the form of high salary and housing accommodation. That's why with the nurses that I help, some of them end up getting free accommodation for 12 months for their entire household. You can find that in any other sponsorship. And also the salary is high. For example, in Cook County, the prevailing wage set by the Department of Labor is only $32.16 per hour. Yet my clients pay as high as $40 per hour. Some of my clients in Chicago are the St. Bernard Hospital, the West Suburban Wise Hospital, the Elevate Care, the Aperian Care. So with this direct petitioners, our kababayans, the nurses, get the best benefit in the form of high salary and free accommodation. So I am so blessed, Ate Vero, that in 2016, I decided to give back to my island of origin. I come from the island of Samar. So in January of 2016, I thought of doing something that will help the poor farmers in my island. As you know, the island, the main source of income of the island is mainly coconut. So I thought if I would intercrop the coconut farm with cacao, then I would increase the yield of the farm. I would increase the income of the farmers. So 2016, I planted thousands of cacao trees, 5,000 initially. And then after 5 years, they started to bear fruits. I got a lot of harvest, and my problem is how to dispose of them. My farmer initially tried to turn them into tablea, but the local economy, the local market could not absorb them. So I tried talking to traders in the hope of selling them to chocolate makers. But the price that they were willing to pay was very low, not even sufficient for me to cover the overhead expenses, to pay for the salary of the workers, the gasoline, fertilizer. You know, when you cut the grass using grass cutters, we need gasoline because we're talking about several hectares of land. So because of that, I got challenged. I cannot let my efforts end in vain. I want this to succeed. So the only way to succeed is by processing the beans directly, by having full control of the production of the harvest into chocolates. And so the idea of setting up a chocolate shop in Chicago came into being. So we set up the chocolate shop in July of 2021, and it started processing our beans, roasting them, refining into chocolates. So it's basically a 3-bar chocolate shop. We bring raw beans from Samar, from our farm in Samar, ship them to Chicago through DHL, and turn them into chocolates from within our chocolate shop. And if you may, Ate Vero, I will tour you around to the chocolate shop.
Please take us around your very successful, I mean, really very nice. I've been there. A very nice chocolate store and manufacturing store too of chocolates.
Okay, let's start with the front. So this is the when you enter the chocolate shop, you will see a painting. Well, this is a painting of the daughter of one of our friends. She painted a cacao pod held by a farmer's hand. So that's what you will see when you enter. And then after that, the various awards, international awards that we garnered. We won awards at the International Chocolate Awards, the equivalent of the Oscars among chocolate makers. We won in the Americas competition, And those who won in the Americas, we competed in the world competition. The winners in Asia, in Europe, in the Americas, we competed, and we also won. For example, this is the silver award that we got last November 2023 for our Pili Dates Praline. This is a world category, meaning winners from Europe, from Asia, from Americas were considered, and we got the silver. So those are the many awards that we got, and these are the products. Our bonbon, our friends, we call them friends bonbon because the teacher, the one who taught us how to make chocolate, is a French pastry chef. But yet, we incorporate the Philippine product. For example, this one is a coconut bonbon. Here's the calamansi bonbon that won the World Award in 2022. Calamansi caramel. We have the kiwi coconut, the guava, the ube. Here's the Pili Dates. Pili Dates won silver in last year's International Chocolate Award. The award ceremony was held in Florence, Italy. So, and these are the chocolate bars. For example, this is the dark chocolate candied orange peel. The label contains the award that this chocolate bar received from the International Chocolate Awards. Our chocolate bar is named to honor the place where we got the beans. For example, this one is Summer Island chocolate, 66%. It means it contains 66% cacao and the rest is cane sugar. The other one is Sobok, 85%. It means the content of the cacao is 85. It's too high. Other chocolate makers are afraid to go as high as 85 because the chocolate bar will become bitter. Yet we are not afraid because we are confident of the way we nurtured the trees and the fermentation that we did for the trees. The beans, the trees that we grow are grown naturally. We use vermicast to nourish them, and also the seaweeds that is abundant in the island of Samar. When I started the cacao farm, I got a problem with the cost of the fertilizer. So what I did, I started producing my own fertilizer. Samar is a coastal island. Calbayog is a coastal island. So what we did, we harvested seaweeds along the shore and fermented them into bioorganic foliar fertilizer. Seaweeds fermented with molasses. So this is the cacao beans that we ship from our farm. When we ship the beans, we ship it using the Grain Pro bag to preserve the aroma of the beans. And the beans are roasted for 120 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 minutes approximately, depending on the type of roast, whether it is medium or bold roast. When the beans are roasted, this is a roasted beans. We put it in a winnower. This is the winnower. The purpose of the winnower is to crack the beans. We put them here, and it cracks the bean and separates the nibs from the shell. The shell goes in this bag, and the nibs go to this bin. This is how a nib looks like. Yes. So this is a nib. Natalia is still separating some shells that were able to join the nibs when they were separated. Natalia, say hi. Natalia is from Ukraine. Okay, now we go to the production. This is the production area. So this is the melanger, but we make the chocolates. We put them in these stone grinders. This is actually a stone grinder. This is a stone grinder. The nibs are ground for 3 days. This is how it looks. A pair of stones that continuously turn for 3 days to reduce the particles of the nib so that they will become imperceptible. Below 20 microns. This is Chef Noel is making the dredges, and his assistant is Jaden. What are you doing, Jaden? Raspberry. So Jaden is making a dredgy. We are using a panning machine to coat the flavor with whatever chocolate we want. So this is a raspberry flavor. This is another tempering machine. You will notice we have different tempering machines because we have different flavors. We have dark chocolates, dark chocolates, and we have the milk chocolate. We have to separate them. This is the tempering machine for the milk chocolate. And this is another tempering machine for the bonbons. When we enrobe the bonbon, this dark chocolate, 62%, is the one that we use. So that's the tour of our chocolate shop.
Amazing, amazing. I'm telling you. What you just showed us looks like a multi-million-dollar industry. And you know, I really congratulate you for for building this kind of business in Chicago, because the business is connected to the Philippines, and also with what you're doing as an immigration lawyer. I know you have a big help out there, and your can you please introduce your angel, your help, and your assistant and your partner to our viewing audience, your wife, your beloved wife?
Yeah, this would not have been possible without my wife agreeing to be trained by Chef Jan Migol, a French chocolatier. So during the hard lockdown in 2020, when everybody were confined in the respective homes, Chef Jan would come to our house from Mondays through Saturdays, from June to November, training Celine in a one-on-one setting. So she no longer works as a nurse. She is full-time as a housewife, attending to our two kids, and of course, attending to our chocolate shop. So here's Celine.
Hello. Hi, Miss Aileen. How are you? Welcome to our show and congratulations for all.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
And for the family. Please say something because Mother's Day is coming up, and she has some great news for many mothers there, or daughters or children who would like to give gifts to chocolate gifts to their mothers. All right, Celine, you're on.
Hi. We have a promo going on in Chalks and Boxes that's located in 4731 North Cumberland in Norwich. And we have a 15% discount in store and online. Actually, it's already starting, and it will be over on Mother's Day. Plus, we have a special edition of a chocolate heart. Let me show it to you. A breakable chocolate heart, especially made for mothers. If you break this dark chocolate heart, there's some assorted drudgies in the middle and a surprise chocolate heart bonbon with the flavor of raspberry compote with vanilla ganache. So this is really a good treat for all the mothers out there. They really deserve this. You just break the chocolate heart, not your mother's heart. So please come and make a reservation if you can come on time. But we only have limited offers.
Can you our viewing audience how much that costs?
This costs $35 only. In store only. We cannot order this online because this is very fragile. We cannot ship it. So it needs to be picked up in store.
All right.
Perfect gift for all the mothers there.
Oh my God, I've never seen anything like that before. So, all right. Thank you, Celine. Anything else that you want to announce?
That's it. We are just looking forward to everybody coming over, buying some special treat for their mothers and for their mother figures in their life.
All right.
Happy Mother's Day in advance.
Mother's Day to you too. And Attorney Dean, thank you so much. Thank you for gracing our show today. And well, you better keep our audience updated on what's going on in your store out there, okay? For any special sales and everything like this Mother's Day gift. It's amazing. I really like that box. Wow. I'm going to your store soon, right away.
Anytime. Thank you.
Just around my neighborhood, and thank you for gracing our show today. Attorney Gerard Dean and Celine Dean.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ate Bella.
At maraming salamat po sa inyong panonood. Ako po si Veronica. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye!
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 Dadan!
Yan! Dito na! Perfect!
Magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat and welcome to Veronica's segment of the show. Today I have a very interesting, exciting personality in this interview, and she's from the Shed Aquarium. And please help me welcome Miss Maggie Cooper.
Hello, hi, thank you for having me.
Maggie is the manager of conservation action at Shed Aquarium. Welcome to our show, Maggie.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Happy weekend. And I invited you to this interview today because of the Earth Day's observance all over the world. And okay, a part of this observance is the problem about plastic pollution. Okay, why is plastic pollution is such a big problem all over the world, Maggie?
That is a really great question. And I think anyone everywhere in the entire world has occurred a problem with single-use plastic at some point in their life. The issue with plastic is that once it's created, it never goes away. So around 96% of the plastics that has ever been created still exists somewhere on our earth today. The issue is that it's not recyclable like other materials are. Plastic is made, and every time you go and try and recycle it, it loses a little bit of its integrity. And so rather than taking a plastic bottle and recycling it back into a plastic bottle, you can take a plastic bottle and maybe recycle it into something like the fibers that you make your clothes out of, or you can recycle it into a plastic bench. But ultimately, it's still out there and it still exists, and it continues to deteriorate and contribute things called microplastics, most significantly into our waterways when it gets into that form. And when those microplastics get into our water, it's damaging to wildlife, it's damaging to us and our drinking water, it's damaging to our ecosystems. And really, once it's there, it's not going away. So the problem with plastics is that it's persistent and it's harmful to us and to wildlife and to the habitats that these wildlife call home.
So we're talking all kinds of plastic so far, plastic bottles, and well, we're surrounded by a lot of plastics actually in our, it's always there in our surroundings. So what can people do?
It's a great question. Yeah, you're right. It's there. It's everywhere. And we know that, I think in the Great Lakes alone, over 22 million pounds of plastic enter the Great Lakes every single year. And about half of that is right here in Lake Michigan. So right in our backyard, we know that 11 million pounds of plastic are entering the lake. What we can do is we can do a couple different things here. One is we can help to clean it up once it gets out there. So a really fun part of my job is I get to do these different volunteer events to get people out and excited to take action for their local environments. So all summer long, Shed Aquarium and my team host beach cleanups, river cleanups, all throughout a couple different areas in the city of Chicago through our Action Days program. So we take people out, we facilitate a beach cleanup with them or a river cleanup, and we are removing litter that would otherwise end up in the lake and stay in the lake and would end in our drinking water. And not only are we picking up trash, but we're documenting every single thing that we're finding. So as we know more about what is out there, what type of trash is out there, we can think, if we're finding 20 million plastic forks, for example. What could we do to help stop that from getting there in the first place? So we use this data and we share it with other nonprofits, other organizations to find a way to use this to leverage policy to help stop it from getting there in the first place. Because as much as I love doing a beach cleanup, it would be really, really great if I didn't have to do them for the rest of my career or for the rest of the next generation's careers. So we want to not just be out there picking it up, but we want to be reducing it as well. So we're encouraging people to avoid their use of single-use plastics, swap for reusables, and again, help to advocate for some of these things to stop from getting there in the first place, which we can talk a little bit more about that if you have more questions.
Is there some kind of a processing so that the plastic can be processed into something that's worthwhile for humanity?
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting ways that people are trying to do just that. But like I mentioned, it's not like aluminum, for example. You can take an aluminum can, melt it down, and turn it right back into an aluminum can. You can't do that with plastic because it uses a lot of its value. And more so, it's cheaper to make new plastic than it is to make recycled plastic. So from an economical standpoint, it doesn't necessarily make sense. There's not that push to really drive us as a society, as a country, towards recycled plastics. It's just not the way the system is set up currently. So truly the best thing we can do is help to stop reduce it. So there's a lot of conversation right now, both at the state level, city level, and federal levels, to find different policies to enact that we can help advocate for and get people on board for helping us to reduce the use of plastics, because ultimately reduction is the best way when it comes to mitigating our plastic crisis.
So what are the immediate steps that the government is taking?
Yes, there are
pollution.
Yeah, so a couple immediate things that are going on right now, there's a couple exciting bills right now in the state of Illinois. Currently, we have a plastic bag tax here in Chicago, 7 cents per bag every time you use it, which is effective to a degree. But currently, there is a bill that is going through our government to ban plastic bags in general. So it'd be kind of like if you've ever gone to an Aldi grocery store, they don't even have plastic bags. You have to use your reusables or like a plastic box, or excuse me, a paper box that they have there. So it would eliminate that plastic bag tax, but make it a bag in general on plastic bags, which is great because we know plastic bags, that flimsy type of plastic, isn't recyclable at all. There's another policy in place right now to ban styrofoam, polystyrene filament, like you might have in a shipping box that you might have to help keep things from moving. There is a bill going through the state right now to help ban that as well. So people, if anyone's interested in being involved in that, they can write letters to their representatives and urge them to move these policies ahead to help them put into place to help stop the harm from these plastics in our environments. And people can sign up for Surge through Shed Aquarium, where we send out alerts monthly with ways that people can sign up and send emails to their representatives to get those things going.
Well, if we get rid of the plastic pollution, how would the earth, how do you look at how the earth would look like, or how would the population react to that?
That's a really great question, because it's so hard to even imagine what that would be like, right? A world without plastic. I think our wildlife would be beyond happy. Unfortunately, we see a lot of entanglement in our Great Lakes of wildlife that get caught up in plastics that are strays. We know that wildlife eats and ingests plastics, and they're eating food so they think they're full, but they're not getting any nutrients. So it ultimately causes them to die of starvation. So I think we'd see less of a stress on our wildlife populations. We'd see a more beautiful city and a more enjoyable ecosystem for us to enjoy. There's a lot that I think is unknown right now of the effects of plastic on our own human health, that I'm scared to see what's going to happen in that. But we know we're finding microplastics in our bodies. So I'm hopeful that we start to see a downward trend in this before things get too far down. And I think there's a lot of hope. I think a lot of people are excited and energized to take these actions to help these things move along. And I'm so grateful that I get to do this as part of my job and get people excited about these things.
Great, terrific, nice to hear. I'm really happy to hear that the Shred Aquarium is taking steps in help preventing the plastic pollution. And congratulations to what you're doing in your job. And please keep us updated, Maggie.
Sure.
You're doing a great job. And for how long have you worked for Shed Aquarium?
I actually this week just celebrated my 6-year anniversary at Sheds. I've been here for 6 years.
Great for you. You like your job?
Oh, I love it. It gets me outside. It gets me meeting other really amazing people in the Chicagoland area who are excited about the same things I'm excited about. Or my favorite is when I meet someone who's not excited about the things I'm excited about, but then I get them excited about it. So it's a really fun opportunity to connect with people all throughout the city.
Great, great. I thank you, Maggie, Miss Maggie Cooper.
Thank you, Veronica.
Facing our show today and getting us updated on the problem about the plastic pollution in our area, not only in our area, all over the world. All right. Okay. Keep us updated. Will you please?
Absolutely. You got it.
Thank you once again. Thank you for appearing in our show. At maraming salamat. Thank you. Maraming salamat po sa inyong panonood at enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye, Maggie. Bye.
Bye, Veronica. Thank you.
This is a prayer and a reminder. All we have is now. Anak, umuwi ka na.
Worldwide this morning, growing concern over a growing health crisis.
The World Health Organization has just declared that this is a pandemic.
Hi. I can't hug you. Don't touch me.
Over the last several days, we have seen peaceful demonstrations.
Protests over police brutality continued here in Austin.
Remember when you started going to college? You came home a liberal?
Dad, please.
That's what we do to you guys in school.
All these people that we never met and never will meet because of what had happened to them. It's just too much.
The way that our family communicates is not necessarily, it's not great.
What advice would you give for those of us that are struggling?
Deal with it.
I think the norm for our community has been to just stay silent and keep to your own business.
I could definitely be doing more than I'm doing right now, and I know that others can as well.
What if someone is called from God to be an activist?
I can answer that question.
Shouting revolution, oh wow, breaking each tradition.
You don't believe in the Black Lives Matter movement?
An advocacy group reporting at least 3,800 anti-Asian hate incidents since last March.
I'm kind of conflicted. I'm like, maybe I should move home and be here with them.
I hope that this moment makes you take a step forward and a step together in the right direction.
In order for a subject to not be taboo in our community, there always has to be someone to start that conversation.
Yeah. You speak up for me when I can't speak up for myself. And I've seen you do that for other people.
I see a lot of people who just kind of cut off friends and family, and I don't think I can do that. I love my parents.
This is a symbol of our voices. If you look at your neighbors around you, you will see who stands with you, who stands for you.
At least I know that you can stand up. That's the thing I'm so happy about.
We would like to welcome all of you to Baladna Jewelry. We have a very big selection of 21 karat gold jewelry imported from the Middle East, from Dubai, Saudi, and Bahrain, and we have a very big selection of diamond. We offer free financing for 6 months, and we have a layaway system which you can leave your stuff for 3 months. We repair gold and we buy old gold. Welcome to Baladna Jewelry.
Salamat po.
Good afternoon. This is Bridget Carino-Quetter bringing you this week's local news from our community. A high-ranking official with the New York Police Department said protesters had weapons including knives and hammers, as well as pamphlets with "Death to America" written on them. For those romanticizing the protests occurring on college campuses, "Death to America" is one sentiment that runs counter to what we believe in, what we stand for, and what many have fought for on behalf of their country, Kemper stated on X. And if you think the words written on this piece of paper are disturbing, you should hear the vile, disgusting, hateful, and threatening words coming out of the mouths of far too many of these so-called peaceful protesters. Kemper posted a video of a pamphlet that stated, "Death to Israeli real estate" and "Death to America." The pamphlet also stated, "Disrupt, reclaim, destroy Zionist business interests everywhere." Critical updates on anti-discrimination provisions made by the Biden administration to Section 1557, designed to protect underserved communities from healthcare discrimination in the Affordable Care Act, are a good first step towards advancing health equity, says the National Asian Pacific American Women's Forum. NAPAWF advocates for issues that impact AANHPI women and girls, many of whom are immigrants working low-wage jobs who have limited English proficiency and are the primary caregivers in their multi-generational families, said Sung-Young Chimoro, executive director. The rule changes address intersectional discrimination and will provide additional protections to help these women, along with immigrants across the country, access high-quality and readily available in-language resources and services when they seek health care. The Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander community is diverse and is made up of more than 50 ethnic groups, speaking over 100 different languages. The Office of the Illinois State Fire Marshal is raising awareness about the seriousness of the crime of arson during Arson Awareness Week, May 5th through the 11th. This year's theme is protecting houses of worship against arson. According to the United States Fire Administration, each year from 2020 to 2022, an estimated average of 1,300 fires in places of worship were reported to fire departments in the U.S. These fires resulted in an estimated annual average of $74.6 million in property loss. The leading cause of fires in places of worship was cooking, 33%, but intentional actions accounted for an additional 15%. The National Fire Protection Association reports municipal fire departments in the United States responded to an estimated annual average of 52,260 intentionally set structure fires in the 5-year period from 2014 to 2018. These fires caused an estimated 400 civilian deaths, 950 civilian injuries, and $815 million in direct property damage each year. 3 in 5 intentional structure fires occurred in residential properties, and most of these fires involved homes. More than half of intentional structure fires were ignited by either a lighter or match. The Illinois Conservation Foundation is accepting nominations for the 2024 Illinois Outdoor Hall of Fame class. Since 2002, the foundation has recognized individuals who have records of exemplary service in and commitments to improving conservation efforts and outdoor recreation opportunities in Illinois. Some inductees touched the lives of thousands by promoting fishing, hunting, conservation, and safety education. Others spearheaded efforts to preserve or enhance fish and wildlife habitat and protect and restore Illinois' lakes and rivers. Some inductees are national and international leaders in conservation or advocates for outdoor heritage traditions. All have led by personal example and serve as role models for future generations of conservationists and outdoor enthusiasts. Selected nominees will be inducted into the Illinois Outdoor Hall of Fame next spring at the annual Illinois Conservation Foundation Outdoor Hall of Fame Gala. May is Older Americans Month, a time to celebrate the nearly 2.9 million Illinoisans aged 60 and older, and the many ways they contribute to support and benefit from their communities. The 2024 Older Americans Month theme, selected by the Administration for Community Living, is powered by connection, focusing on the profound impact that meaningful connections have on older adults' health and well-being. Older Illinoisans form the bedrock of communities across the state, said Governor J.B. Pritzker. This Older Americans Month, we celebrate them and reaffirm our commitment to promoting connection and health in their best years. This May, the Illinois Department of Aging is joining ACL and its partner organizations across the country to promote resources that help older adults engage socially, as well as local services, such as transportation, that can help them overcome obstacles to achieving or maintaining meaningful relationships. That's all for today. Thank you for watching our news this week. This is Bridget. See you next time.
It's more fun in the Philippines.